Welcome to Module 1, where we will answer the question, what is climate change? In this module, you will learn about climate change, the greenhouse effect, and the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, which is a global body in charge of researching and reporting information on climate change. We will also explore some common myths about climate change and why they are not true. By the end of this module, you will be able to identify weather versus climate, understand the cause of climate change and the greenhouse effect, and describe how we know humans are causing climate change. Module 1.1 will cover what is climate change. Let's start by talking about the difference between weather and climate. The word weather refers to the short-term atmospheric conditions of a specific location or region. When you think about the weather, you might ask yourself, what do I need to wear today based on the temperature? Is it supposed to rain? Will it be very hot? Weather is short term, meaning hours to days, and it can change rapidly. For example, a sunny day could turn into a cloudy day, and then it may begin to rain. Weather may impact a smaller or larger area. Usually, we predict weather using something called weather forecasting models. The term climate refers to the average weather for a specific location or region over a long period of time, for example, over 30 years or more. If you think about the climate, you might ask yourself, what clothing do I have in my closet, or what clothing do I wear over the course of a year? Even though the climate where you live has a dry season with no rain for weeks, you might still have something in your closet for the rain, even though you don't use it every day, because the climate where you live also has a wet season. In other words, when we talk about climate, we are talking about longer-term average conditions, the typical range of weather over many years, usually over a larger area or region. Similar to weather, we can provide predictions of how the climate might change over time. We call these climate change projections. We use climate models to get climate change projections. So what is climate change? Climate change refers to changes in average conditions, for example, temperature and rainfall, in a specific location or region over a long period of time. If we think back to the example on the previous slide of the clothing in your closet or the clothing you would wear over the course of a year, climate change might mean that you need to buy an umbrella and more t-shirts and shorts because it has become warmer and wetter where you live on average. What can these colors tell us about how the climate is changing? I encourage you to please pause the video here to think about why the image is going from blue to red. This is called a warming stripe graphic. This graphic shows the change in temperature for the entire world measured over 100+ years. Each stripe on this graphic represents the average temperature over 1 year, compared to the average temperature for the years 1971 to 2000. In this case, 1971 to 2000 is the reference period. We consider the average temperature during that period to be called the baseline. So blue stripes represent years when the average temperature was cooler than the baseline. Red stripes represent years when the average temperature was warmer than the baseline. As you can see, the average temperatures change from blue, meaning cooler than the baseline, to red, meaning warmer than the baseline. For virtually every region of the world, the stripes turn from mainly blue to mainly red over time, illustrating the rise in average global temperature. We can look at the same warming stripe information as a graph. Again, the red color shows years the global average temperature was higher than the baseline, and the blue color shows years when the global average temperature was lower than the baseline. If you'd like to see Suriname's temperature stripes, you can go to the activity link on the course homepage under Module 1. I encourage you to explore and answer, how has the temperature changed in Suriname over time? Which years have been the warmest? In this video, we are going to see how the average surface temperature of the Earth has increased over time. For this video, the reference or baseline period that we're going to be looking at is 1951 to 1980. Blue indicates temperatures that are colder than this baseline period, and red indicates temperatures that are warmer than the baseline period. I'll play the video now, and we'll see how temperatures change. So although temperatures have changed in the past, and specific regions often experience both warmer and colder periods, the video shows how consistent the warming trend has become in recent years. As you can see, it's going to start becoming more yellow and orange. By the end of the video, nearly the whole world is going to be orange or red, indicating that the temperatures are higher than the baseline period. In watching the video, we also see how temperature change, and more specifically warming, is uneven around the globe, meaning different regions are warming faster than others. There are other clues that the climate is changing. We will explore some of these in later modules. Some of the key clues or global trends include increasing humidity, rising sea levels and increasing ocean heat content, decreasing Arctic sea ice and melting glaciers, and decreasing snow coverage. Scientists use different indicators across the globe to understand how the climate is changing and by how much. Many different indicators all point to the same reality: the climate is changing. You may be asking yourself, wait, hasn't the climate always changed? Yes, the Earth's climate is always changing and has gone through extended periods of cooling and warming in the past. However, the current period of warming is different and concerning because of how rapid or quick it is happening. The average surface temperature of Earth in 2021 tied with 2018 as the sixth warmest year on record. And taken together, the past 8 years are the warmest years since modern record keeping began in 1880. Abrupt changes to climate are dangerous to our way of life. Think about it this way. If you were told you were going on a trip next year, you would have time to plan and make preparations. But if you were told you were leaving right now, it would be completely different, even if you were going to the same place. Now imagine plants and animals. With gradual warming over thousands or hundreds of thousands of years, ecosystems have time to slowly adjust and adapt. Our climate is changing so quickly that systems, both natural and built, may have a difficult time adjusting. To summarize, climate change is a change in average atmospheric conditions at a location or in a region over a long period of time. We know the climate is changing because average temperatures around the world are getting warmer compared to average temperatures over the past decade or century. There are other clues of climate change, such as melting glaciers and rising sea levels. While the climate is always changing, the rate and amount of warming is remarkable and concerning.